Lil Meech goes and hooks up with Rick Ross at a bowling alley in Miami. But at this point, the situation is getting kind of sad, that it's turning into overkill. And it's pretty much all being used for huge promotion for that BMF series coming up. I think 50 is taking a lot of advantage into pushing the narrative, because Ross was pushing the narrative when he took the picture with Meech and did all of that, promoting the car show, promoting the concert. 50's taking the narrative pretty much back, but it's turning into overkill at this point. I expect the BMF series to do huge numbers when it premieres for the season 4. And people shouldn't be surprised at the way 50 Cent is behaving, because he already posted the pictures of Lil Meech with Ross's daughter going to the prom. So he already knew they had some kind of relationship and knew each other before the fact. On top of, Lil Meech was hanging with Slow Bucks way before the picture of T and Supreme's son had surfaced. And that's when he started letting his feelings be known. But I feel like 50 has been looking for a way to get out of the BMF deal since there's been grumbling the past year behind the scenes about them feeling like they weren't getting paid enough money. But I personally don't think that Lil Meech planned to meet up with Rick Ross, but the situation is so hot at the moment that everybody is filming his every move, their every move, every time they move around in public. But Lil Meech looked real uncomfortable standing next to Rick Ross while they were filming, because you can see he kept peeking at the camera and trying not to look directly into it. But Ross was well aware of the camera, but notice he's also aware of what's being said online. Ross is not being his normal self, Normally Rick Ross is talking real arrogant, talking the type of BS he talk that only he believes and the world knows is fake. Overall, it's just sad. And it seems like every time throughout his career that 50 Cent has tried to help someone by building them up, some kind of way, from the game, the Young Buck and on, they end up turning on him in some kind of way. But Rick Ross is a huge opportunist. He's a clout chaser. And he only thought about himself because he didn't think about how it would affect Big Meech's family in the long run. But at the same time, there is no honor among thieves and cops neither. Nobody lives by any codes anymore, but we continue to glorify the streets when the average civilian has a way stricter and better code than street people do. Because if you're looking from the outside in, loyalty is dead. But still, everyone is screaming, keep it business. But when you enter into a contract with somebody, you always have non-compete agreements to where you can't deal with the competitor in the fine print. If not, then you need to just keep it street and stop doing business. But a lot of people shouldn't be doing business if we went by that standard, if they feel that they have to double dip and not choose a side to be on. Coke don't do business with Pepsi. McDonald's don't do business with Burger King. But it's crazy how Lil Meech had got hooked on drugs, and we never knew any of this until this situation unfolded, Coming to the set high off of pills, to the point where 50 Cent had to send him to rehab. It's just unfortunate that this stuff has to be revealed when a few weeks ago we knew none of this stuff. On top of Lil Meech trying to steal a $250,000 Richard Mille watch. But I think Lil Meech is suffering from a lot of trauma for not having his father in his life. 50 did a lot for him and stuff that would make anybody feel a certain kind of way. The only thing it does is make it harder for the next person to catch a break that runs across somebody like 50, you know, for that matter, because everybody is tuned in and noticing the character of all these individuals involved. But at the end of the day, still a slave can't serve two masters, and everybody goes about doing things differently. Now you can put Jay-Z in that position. Jay-Z is not a vocal person, but him and 50 Cent end up with the same similar results. Had it been Jay-Z that got stunted on like that, he would have cut the throats, but he would have done it quietly. Then the internet would have just went crazy speculating, because Jay-Z wouldn't have said a word about it. All you would have knew is Jay-Z not doing business with them anymore. You can check the track record. It took 20 years to find out why Rockefeller really broke up, and Jay-Z still ain't addressed it. All you see is Dame Dash running around whining almost 30 years after the fact. But now we living in dangerous times in the year 2025, but if you don't have a moral compass, you'll never have loyalty to anything anyway. And to close, I'd just like to say that we must all not forget that Lil Meech is not from the streets. So his definition of loyalty may be totally different than yours and mine. But at the same time, it's really just a distraction what's really going on in the world. And it'll pass like all things. And I think Lil Meech will eventually figure it out for himself, even without 50 Cent. But in the meantime, we have countries at war. The White House is going crazy with Trump. So in